because it's a symbol. And Andrew, I want to talk about this. I am now going to wear this everywhere I go. Every single one of you, you need to now get one of these, go down, donate at donaldjtrump.com, and you need to go into the streets and to show this regime no. F you, actually. We're not going to put up with this. We are not going to tolerate your nonsense or your BS.
That was Charlie Kirk trying to cope with the fact that the GOP's presumptive nominee, the leader of the party of law and order, finally had the law applied to him. And Charlie Kirk is not taking this well. He urged his viewers to buy a MAGA hat, go out into the streets, and yell F you at the so-called Biden regime in quotes there, implying that Biden had anything to do with Trump's conviction, which is totally false. He also calls the MAGA hat a symbol, but a symbol for what? Being the farthest thing from a patriot possible, being an insurrectionist, a symbol for undermining our legal and judicial system. I was going to go on a rant about how it's a symbol for them being a cult, but Eric Swalwell did that for me on the House floor today. He gave a speech about how MAGA is a cult, and Republicans tried to cut him off, but he kept going. Watch this clip.
And guys, I'm starting to think you're in a cult. That is your right, but it's not your responsibility. I promise you that's not what your constituents would want. So if you believe in states' rights, except when a jury in that state convicts your nominee for president, you might be in a cult. If you claim you back the blue but want to defund the police when the police go to your nominee's house to retrieve national security secrets, you might be in a cult. If you're supporting a guy whose felony convictions prevent him from getting a security clearance, you might be in a cult. And if the guy you're supporting for president has felony convictions that prevent him from going to Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Cambodia, Canada, Chile, China, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Egypt, Ethiopia, Hong Kong,
my motion
India,
takes precedent.
Indonesia, Iran, Ireland, Israel, Japan, Kenya, Macau, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, Nepal, New Zealand, Peru, Philippines, Singapore, South Africa, South Korea, Taiwan, Tanzania, Tunisia, Turkey, Ukraine, United Arab Emirates, and the UK,
the gentleman from
in a cult.
Kentucky is recognized for 5 minutes. I'm asking the gentleman.
Eric Swalwell made some great points there, and they tried to cut him off halfway through, which leads me to wonder, where was that same energy when Marjorie Taylor Greene was melting down and telling Dr. Fauci that he wasn't a real doctor? Why wasn't she cut off in the same abrasive way as Eric Swalwell was there? But to build on his point a little bit, you might be in a cult if you're building golden statues of your leader. You might be in a cult if you're comparing the leader of your party to Jesus Christ. You might be in a cult if you follow his words so closely that you end up in the Capitol on the day they're certifying the election results. Or if you're going to wear diapers because you heard that the leader of your cult also wears diapers. I mean, I could go on and on. The list is endless. But I now have a clip of Charlie Kirk melting down over Trump's convictions. And then after that, I'm going to play a clip of Adam Schiff that could basically be meant as a rebuttal to Charlie Kirk. Watch these two clips back to back.
They are taking your country from you, and they already have. And when you see Donald Trump guilty on all 34 counts, that is a gut punch to the republic, a gut punch to you, to our founding fathers, to the sacrifices that many of you have given to this country. We do not have the best fighting force on the planet to go die and to go risk their lives for this nonsense.
That's his problem. That's the problem of all my Republican colleagues right now, and that is they're about to nominate a convicted felon. And they don't know how to cope with that. They don't know how to cope with the justice system that, in fact, treats Donald Trump the same as it would any other citizen. And so they have to push these conspiracy theories that they know are patently false. And they try to run over you with questions they won't let you answer, because their whole arguments are utterly insupportable and destructive of our justice system. They care more about this convicted felon than they do the country. I have to say I'm pleased and a bit surprised to see that the flag in this committee is still flying right side up, because they want to turn it upside down, even as they want to turn our justice system upside down.
Perfectly stated by Adam Schiff, and I have more clips of him to play, but really quickly, I want to highlight a line that he said that I found incredibly powerful. He said, "They care more about this convicted felon than they do the country," which is entirely true. MAGA would be willing to uproot everything we've built since the inception of America if it means Donald Trump gets a second term. And a lot of this is a function of Donald Trump's rhetoric. He has successfully undermined our legal and judicial system, our elections. He successfully undermined the sitting president. I mean, his whole claim to fame in politics back in 2011, 2012 was undermining President Barack Obama's birth. A lot of people forget this, but Donald Trump's claim to fame was his birther conspiracy. So time and time again, we have seen this repeated pattern of Donald Trump undermining the systems that make America great, the systems that truly do function well, and the MAGA sycophants beneath him follow along. They fly their flags upside down. They raid the Capitol. Donald Trump says he wants to terminate the Constitution, and his cult followers are with him every step of the way. Adam Schiff is totally correct when he says that they are willing to put this convicted felon over this country that we've built, this imperfect country, but just because it's imperfect doesn't mean it should be torn down because of convicted felon Donald Trump. Here's another amazing clip of Adam Schiff calling out MAGA Republicans.
They would tear it down. In the service of this convicted felon, they would tear everything down. They would tear the house of this democracy down around them. They say it's unprecedented to bring charges against a former president. You're damn right it's unprecedented. We've never had a president of the United States who was making hush money payments to a porn star and then falsifying business records to cover it up. Yeah, that's unprecedented. We've never had a president withhold classified information and then obstruct the investigation. That is unprecedented. We've never had a president incite a violent attack on the Capitol. That is unprecedented. And you know what else is unprecedented? The fact that so many leaders of that party are perfectly fine with all of that. In their headlong pursuit of power, they're perfectly fine with that. They're going to nominate a convicted felon as their presidential candidate.
As Adam Schiff points out, everything about this situation is unprecedented. Everything Donald Trump does is without precedent, and the reason this is unprecedented in the United States of America specifically is because we don't often hold these highly powerful people accountable as we should. So just because it's without precedent in the United States of America doesn't mean the precedent shouldn't be created, and doesn't mean it shouldn't be done at all. If anything, the precedent that we're creating here is that if you're a powerful person and you commit crimes, you are not above the law. And this is the precedent in other countries as well. MAGA keeps using this phrase, third world country, which is pretty outdated, but they keep saying the US is acting like a third world country or a banana republic when there are other developed countries that also hold their leaders accountable. I mean, the obvious example right here would be Israel. Bibi Netanyahu was indicted for corruption. He is being charged as we speak, but he is trying to hold on to power to stop himself from being convicted in the same way that Donald Trump is trying to grab any amount of power possible. So, leaders being convicted, leaders being held accountable for their actions is not unprecedented on a global scale. It just doesn't happen often here in the US. But if Donald Trump were running for a Senate seat or a mayoral seat, he would still be held accountable in a very similar way. Nothing about this is political, even if it is unprecedented. But if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, comment a blue heart if you made it this far. I'll see it. I read all the comments, even if I can't respond. Hit that subscribe button. Most importantly, have a great day.